BUCS is back, and it's bigger than ever.
We've got a man in the corner, and it's caught!
Can he hold them off? The roof will be raised in Bronze.
Like an enemy in the night, mission impossible for two.
Both teams hungry, desperate to win that title.
The heart of the country sets the stage. Student athletes take the spotlight. The rehearsals are over, everything is set. Now it's time to see who will cross the line first. Hours of preparation, countless hours of training, and it's all led to this moment. And now the wait is finally over. Hello and welcome to the Derby Arena Velodrome, a magnificent facility that this year hosts the BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships. Thanks to you for joining us for what promises to be a packed schedule here on the first of 2 days of live coverage. British Universities and Colleges Sport, BUCS as it's known, will be providing you with the full 2 days of live coverage of this highest of quality cycling from athletes studying all over the UK. I'm Karen Bashir and I'm looking forward to being in your company. And we're going to start with the women's 200 metre qualification very, very soon. Well, the bell starts and our first competitor of 14, Jodie Taylor representing Derby University. She comes around the flying sprint of 200 metres to cross the line and set her time for the knockout stages. Well, we roll straight into the second competitor, Rhiannon Briffa, also from Derby. So in the flying 200, the rider will cruise around the top of the track, building speed. When they hit the 200 metre line, that's when the clock starts. So over the start-finish line, the next white line is the start of the 200. So still staying high, 3 laps of the track. It's only the final lap where the athlete will be timed. And we'll hear the bell as they cross the starting line that will signify when the sprint goes. Just over the border in Nottinghamshire. So staying high before the start helps build the speed because you're using the gravity of the transition as Rhiannon starts the high push, the last of the pushes now, and we'll hear the bell and the clock will start running as soon as Rhiannon crosses the next line. Here she goes. Drops into the back straight, taking the shortest line to the finish while maintaining as much speed as possible. Coming out of 4. So not quite as quick as Jodie Taylor, who set a 12.435. Rhiannon Briffa a 13.164.
I'll stay with Rhiannon's. This time to Rhiannon Paris-Smith, also representing Derby. The time trial champion last year, and just a couple of weeks ago took a silver medal at the European Championships in Zondervan in Belgium. Was that British team take that silver medal?
Well, next up, the bronze medalist from last year, also from Derby University, Rhiannon Paris-Smith, 4th at the sprints at the National Championships last weekend. Silver in the team sprints at the European Championships just a couple of weeks ago. Rhiannon also the 2024 National Time Trial Champion, so she has to be the one to look out for here. Wearing number 25, Rhiannon Paris-Smith, building up for her flying sprint.
She goes, that was the bell time for Rihanna Para-Smith. Clock ticking.
Didn't get the bell, but Rihanna knows her stuff, and she's coming around the final bend to set a time and cuts the line. 11.224 provisionally set by Rihanna, the fastest time set so far.
Well, that's the form that she brought from last week's nationals and in the week before's European Championships.
So the time set by Rihanna Para-Smith of Derby University, 11.224, the time to beat.
Next to go is Catherine Hinton from Exeter University.
So already on track, ready to go, Catherine Hinton from Exeter University down in the southwest of England. Having experience now, very different from her trip up the M5, I believe, from that part of the world. Probably a little faster in places here on this Derby velodrome. So staying high, as I said, helps increase the potential using gravity as she now hammers down the pedal. Catherine Hinton from Exeter University looking to beat 11.224 set by Rihanna Para-Smith. Coming around the final bend.
As the final corner, she shows that time.
13.374, not going to challenge. Not going to challenge the fastest time, but all 14 of the riders will qualify for the sprint knockout stages. The idea to get the fastest time possible so you're not facing the big sprinters in the knockout stages. And the knockout stages look very, very different, I have to say.
Black colours of the Glasgow University Cycling Team.
This is this flying 200-metre time trial known as the necessary evil amongst the riders. They have to get through it to qualify for the next phase of the competition. Beatrix Kilman from Glasgow University on the track now, wearing number 49. Harking from the eastern Scottish city of Glasgow. So here we go, coming around the final bend, waiting for the bell. And the clock will begin right now. She drops into the back straight. Beatrix Kilman from Glasgow University coming around the final bend. The lever's working hard.
She comes into the finishing straight. Across the line,
13.766 for Kilman. So still the target set by Rihanna Para-Smith of Derby University of 11.224, the one to beat to get top of the pile. Up next, from Heriot Watt, it's Sarah Johnson.
Former British junior time trial Kieran sprint champion. In fact, she's the current junior champion. This time does not get contested in 2025. Took a silver in the junior sprint and time trial back in 2023 as well. So can the British junior champion get to that time? Rihanna Para-Smith, currently leading the line inside 12 seconds so far in this qualification round.
So the British junior champion here, Sarah Johnson. Can she get close to that 11.224 set? Looking very cool and smooth around the top of the bank. Starting to wind up as the bell goes. Sarah Johnson from Heriot-Watt University drops into the sprinting lane. 5.727 set on the split. This is looking pretty good. And 11.859, the second rider to break 12 seconds. Junior champion then setting the second fastest time, so it's it's Hinton from Exeter University, followed by Johnson from Heriot-Watt, first and second. Jodie Taylor from Derby University with the third fastest time so far. On track now from Loughborough University, Amy Dixon. So this track, liked by the sprinters. Counterintuitive though it may seem, the shorter straights allow the sprinters to use these banked curves to build their speed. Amy Dixon from Loughborough University, looking to set a fast time here, pedaling super hard. 6.1 on the split, a 12.436 set by Dixon. She goes into fourth fastest position.
To Nottingham we go for our next four riders, in fact. First two from Nottingham University. Sinead Turner-Frick will be first of the Nottingham riders, wearing race number 91.
Nottingham University represented here by a pair of riders. First up, Sinead Turner-Frick. Nottingham, about 20 minutes drive from this Derby velodrome. As I say, a sprinter's paradise. Shorter straights than Manchester's Medal Factory.
The highest points on the track. Well this time.
Sinead Turner-Frick will cross the 200-metre line, dropping into the sprinting lane. Split time at 100 metres coming up now, 6.486. This is not going to set the world alight, but she's going to try and get as high up the rankings as possible, just outside 13.5, a 13.615 set by Turner-Frick.
Faster you go, but better you're seeding in the next round of competition. So staying with Nottingham University for our next rider, number 92, Elizabeth Broughton next again.
Fellow student from Nottingham University up next. Wearing number 92, it's Elizabeth Broughton.
And the University title last year took a gold medal in the team pursuit and a silver in the team sprint.
And last time out at the BUCS Track Cycling Championships, finished 9th in the individual sprint. The levers working hard again as Elizabeth Broughton from Nottingham University drops in for her 200. Split time just over 6 seconds. Just outside 12.5. A 12.601 set by Elizabeth Broughton of Nottingham University.
So Nottingham, we just opened the river to Nottingham Trent University for our next two riders. Samantha Holden, the first of two from Nottingham Trent.
Now two riders from Nottingham Trent University. First up, Samantha Holden.
The old school here, no disc wheels or anything like that, a conventional track bike.
So the astute amongst you will notice that no discs covering the wheels, so a slightly more traditional bit of equipment being used here. Let's see what kind of time she can set.
A spoke wheel in the front and a disc wheel in the back. A little harder to see at the mic with a disc in the front. It's okay when you're,
So here's the bell for Samantha Holden from Nottingham Trent University. Drops right into this sprinter's lane.
into the back straight. That's looking at her halfway time. 8.731.
8.731 set at the 100 metre split.
So this will place her in the lower part of the qualification round. Time of 18.439.
And an 18.439, the slowest time set so far by Samantha Holden from Nottingham Trent University. Her fellow student, Elodie Gage, on track, ready to start her 200 metre flying sprint. More familiar disc wheels for Elodie. Tucked up in this position, your core is so key to drive power from this position. Very, very tricky, hours of training required as Elodie Gage drops into her flying 200. Split time looks really good, under 6 seconds. Crosses the line, 12.269. And moves into third position so far. 3 more riders to come, though, in this female sprint qualifying. Up next from Sheffield University, it's Niamh Elliott.
Is Niamh Elliott from Sheffield University.
So it's all about this position, generating power from this tuck position, incredibly difficult without an excellent core. Watch for the speed of the leg rotation. You want that to be separate from the movement of the body. In fact, you want your body to be tucked up, nice and still throughout. No discs on the wheels for Niamh Elliott.
She goes, running now. For the sole representative of Sheffield University in this women's sprint competition.
So on the split, 7.079. And crossing the line, 14.562. So a little lower down the order. 2 more to go. Fast up, Devon Sansom of Southampton University.
Johnson, Gage, Taylor and Dixon, the order. I'll build a wide on track for Southampton University is Devon Sansom. Devon finished 13th in the time trial yesterday.
Warmed her legs up yesterday with the time trial, finishing in 13th position.
So as mentioned, all 40 riders will progress into the first round of the competition.
So here goes the bell. Power down a little later than some. Dropping into that sprinting lane very early as well. So taking a wider line. Crosses the split time, 7.913.
So these Southampton University fans give Devon a picture. He comes across the line.
And crosses the line in a 16.195. Now our final rider wearing 1:14.
Running through 6 in the time trial yesterday over the kilometres, the small laps of the track. This is Georgia Holt of UC Land.
Georgia Holt from UC Land. Final of the riders, looking to beat the time of 11:224 set by Rihanna Paris-Smith Derby. Rihanna Smith of Derby University. She went third, and so far none of the riders have beaten the time that she has set.
Black skin suit confers more of an advantage than one with additional ink.
Getting up a good lick of speed here around the bottom bend. So power down early. Inside the sprinting lane. The split could be good here. Just outside 6 seconds. It's going to put a mid-pack, possibly a little higher. And Georgia Holt goes over in a 12:525. Cracking run from her.
So top three, Rihanna Paris-Smith and Derby 11.224. Sarah Johnson and Harry Ward 11.859. And next best time, just looking down the list. It was Elodie Gage at 12.269. All three will find out seedings for the first round of the sprints.
So the sprint has been concluded here. Rihanna Paris-Smith of Derby setting the fastest time of 11:224. Sarah Johnson from Heriot Watt 11:859 in second place, the junior national champion. And Nottingham Trent's Elodie Gage a 12:269 for third place in the flying 200 sprint. We will wait for final confirmation on those times. At the women's sprint qualification done here, the first of our events in this first live session. Coming up very shortly, we'll move on to the individual women's pursuit qualification here at the Derby Arena Velodrome.
Countdown leaps, and then feel free to make as much noise as you like to cheer them around the track. The fastest 4 riders from this qualification round will go into the medal finals later today. First and second fastest riding for gold, third and fourth fastest riding for bronze. So there are 10 heats in this women's individual qualification round. And first to go, representing Cambridge University, will be Freya Taylor. There's been a Cambridge University fan down there. Just one. So Harry, our starter, just explaining the fine details to Freya before a long trek over to the start box. When you press the button, the countdown will begin. There you go.
Time now for the women's individual pursuit qualification.
So where we go.
First out, Freya Taylor, wearing number 11 from Cambridge University.
Disadvantage away from the start line.
4 kilometres, 16 laps, the fastest 4 go through to the finals.
Slight issues with additional strapping. And issues with the clipping pedal, a Velcro strap over the top of the shoe. Make sure it stays firmly attached to the pedal. Maximum effort required to get the gear turning. Once on top of the gear, stepping into a more aerodynamic position.
So riders go on their own in qualification. They can do, as we see here. It's a little bit tricky because you're not chasing anyone. Usually you start with 2 riders, one either side of the track. But of course, you're not being chased either.
just like with the women's sprint qualifier a little bit earlier, the closer you ride to the bottom of the track, the closer you are to covering exactly 250 metres. So just getting a little wavy in the corners. Now the charge of the track is such that it actually propels you out of the corners into the straights. So there's a little bit of extra effort required just to keep the bike down as you come out of corner 2 and corner 4.
So the riders here on this 250 metre track, if they stay close to the centre of the track, at the lower part of the track, they will be doing approximately 250 metres. But climbing up the track does give you some energy potential. So use gravity to help you up your speed, increase your speed. So it's a trade-off, of course. Fastest riders will use that transition potential early on, build up their speed, and then try not to have extra effort moving outside that red sprinting line.
I remember the Trinity Cycling Club. This is in the Lancashire Hill Country.
So coming down the back straight. And Freya crosses the line. She'll have just 6 laps remaining of the track. We'll start to see the athletes get spurred on when that remaining number of laps ticks down to 4. Just 1 kilo to go, 1 kilometre remaining when you get down to 4.
Trying to pace the effort throughout the 16 laps.
You just see that there's just been a slight increase in the momentum now.
Of course, avoiding these qualification rides in single format means you've got no one to match your pace against. You can't.
So 3 kilometres done, just 1 more to go.
Taylor will be heading into the closing kilometre when she comes around this time.
And you've got to pace yourself out here over these 4 kilometres. You don't want to burn out and blow out too early.
For that slower start once you pull the foot out, departing from the start line. Put that to the back of the line now, concentrating on the job in hand.
So it wasn't the best of starts, but nonetheless, have to clear your mind of those things and just power on through. Remember, 4 fastest go through to compete for the gold medal.
Towards 5 minutes.
So we crossed 5 minutes done, and 2 laps remaining for Freya Taylor of Cambridge University.
She'll welcome the sound of the bell this time.
Welcome sign now for her, welcome sound at least, as Freya Cambridge comes around to complete her final circuit of this Derby Arena velodrome.
Just inside that 6-minute mark, which will make 5:38. She comes out of corner 4.
And crossing the line, 5:42.296. The time set by Freya Taylor from Cambridge University.
42 kilometres per hour. Information displayed on the scoreboard of cognitive, which To be fair, hasn't got the largest graphics in the world of scoreboards. So you might want to employ your powerful binoculars if you brought any with you. Meanwhile, next on track, Maisie Beijing is next again.
Coventry University represented now by number 15, Maisie Vasic.
She's about to be in her 12-second countdown. Away from the line goes Maisie Beijing.
So the second contender, Maisie Vasic from Coventry University. Former professional road cyclist for Great Britain. Maisie switched to the track after 2023. So 16 laps of the track. It goes very quiet, can be a lonely old run, this one, for the individual pursuit qualification.
So Maisie rider who enjoys road track and cyclocross racing. He's a member of the BUCS University Cycling Club last year.
Loves her cycling, all forms of it. Competed on the road for Great Britain, now on track, but also likes a bit of cyclocross. Has represented Oxford University at BUCS Championships. Now here representing Coventry.
This is who rided the British National titles in the point race back in 2023. Also finished top 10 in the Cannes Grand Prix in Lancashire, round of the British Cycling Elite Circuit Series a couple of years ago.
So halfway through this 4K.
Really hard to see is the difference between the current rider's time and that of the fastest rider so far. So if it's a minus time, they're faster. If it's a plus time, they're slower. Into the halfway point for Maisie Beijing.
Well, at the moment, going just a little slower than Freya Taylor.
Paris is at the bottom of the screen. You see the good distance. A little bit slower, Maisie Beijing.
It's about 8 seconds off the time here. Vasic.
Towards the end of the ride. Some riders go away quickly, try and hold that speed. Others build slower, trying to get a little maximum power towards the end of the ride.
So first
Coach, track side.
half a little slower than Freya Taylor, but the tactics of the athletes can differ over this 4K. Some will go out hard and try and hold on. Others will bide their time and build the speed lap by lap.
Step either side of it, according to whether the rider will up or down from the schedule. He's back on the line at the moment, which I thought so, but I think Maisie's on the expected schedule. That's all good. She's the closing kilometre. 4 laps to go. We won't reach the home straight this time.
So just over a kilometre remaining for Maisie Vasic. She's drifted 20 seconds, or almost 20 seconds off Freya Taylor's time.
The fastest 4 riders in this qualification round will go to the medal rise later today. Fastest 2 for gold, third and fourth fastest for bronze. Maisie might get a little bit more wayward as she comes into the finishing straight this time. Really electricity to burn in this closing kilometre. Concentrating hard, trying to keep the bike as low on the track and as straight a line as possible.
It's just drifting out a little bit on the bends now, Maisie Taylor. That was better out of 4.
500 metres to go.
You can see the rotation of the legs is slowed ever so slightly.
Freya Taylor's time was 5:42.296. Basically outside that because she's still got a lap to go.
So now drifting even further, 27 seconds off the best time. She gets the bell. Oh, it'll be a pleasing sound for her. 5:51.155 with 250 to go.
Final 250 metre circumnavigation of the track.
Great to see her power down through the penultimate straight, round the final bend. I'm looking for a 6:15, 6:16 maybe. Just inside 6:15, 6:14, 8:14 for Maisie Vasic of Coventry University.
This competition, 10 little riders in total in this women's individual team qualification round. Next on track, we're number 22, Emma Warner from the home University of Derby.
So 2 of 10 down. And next up, Emma Warner from Derby University. Competing on home soil, often a benefit, especially for track cyclists. They all know this track very well.
Choosing not to go in the para-cycling competition here at these World Championships. Just ensuring that bike size is right. Here's a little nod to our starter Harry, who sets off the start box. Turn the board around so I can see it. There we go.
Underway almost now for Emma Warner, Derby University. Now, this is some rider just using the left leg.
On track now.
So building the speed, maintaining that speed just with one leg. Elected to compete in the women's competition rather than the para-cycling event.
Being put through her left leg. Special adaptive machine to cater for that.
Training adapted to facilitate one leg only cycling. Not only is that committing all your power through just one half of your body, but the amount of balance that's required through the core, absolutely critical.
And there's some good places in the National Disability and Para-Cycling Road Series last year. Took us the Circuit Race in York. So winning the Circuit Race in Middlesbrough last July.
Has competed on the road.
Second round of that series in Bath back in May last year.
And has medalled in the para events.
Completion of the opening kilometre for Emma Warner.
So 14 seconds down through the first kilo.
Through one leg here. Just think about balancing your body on the track. It's more of a challenge. Great representation. He excels in para-cycling. Great success at the World Cycles and of course the Paralympics in Paris last year.
So Emma Warner will have 10 laps to go when she crosses the line next time out.
Emma continues her next milestone with the completion of the second kilometre, the halfway point.
Still driving hard.
Representing Gulf University, Emma does her riding for the Track Nation team. It's in the under 23 category.
So halfway through. 2 more kilometres and some change to go for Emma Warner, studying here in Derby.
So halfway point for Emma Warner of Derby, 4:18.204. So it's the second of this 4 kilometre individual pursuit.
So now we're going to get to see how much stamina
Emma keeping a very good line.
Emma has.
Bottom of the track, holding the bike down as the corners.
Still looks comfortable as she comes through the start-finish straight with 6 laps to go.
Devices to keep Emma informed as to how she's riding in comparison with her expected schedule.
So you'll see the coach just after the start-finish straight going into turn 1 right there.
1.5 kilometres to go.
And he's got a little tablet. It just has a couple of numbers on it. And that gives Emma an idea of how she's faring against her own schedule. Try and have a look at that as she comes around. She hits this line the next time. There'll be 1 kilometre to go. And she's 7.6 over her expected time. 7.6 seconds.
Next time round, it will be the closing kilometre for Emma Warner. 4 laps to go.
So now starting to build the speed a little bit here. She's getting closer to her target time.
Easy way just a little bit. Actually, go around corner 2. As I mentioned before, the corners on the track do propel you into the straight. So a little bit of extra effort required. And we exit from the bend.
So now a final push for the line here with 2 laps to go when she comes around the next time.
So the sole representative of Home University of Derby here. Derby Arena, these 2024-2025 BUCS University Championships.
So Emma will get the bell as she comes around the next time. .300 odd meters to go now.
That was the finish, that was the bell lap time, that led to confusion on that one, unfortunately. 7:14.732 the time recorded by Emma Warner of Derby.
In fact, the bell didn't go, and that was the final lap for Emma Warner. 7:14.732 set by her.
Lap scoring there.
Well, a little bit of confusion there as Emma came around for her final lap, or what she thought was her final lap, and there's a little bit of confusion. The provisional time set at 7:14.732 for Derby University's Emma Warner.
Completion of the 16 laps, 7:14.732. Mark down here, our manual timekeeper on the start line, confirming that time.
So the time was confirmed in the end by the manual timekeeper for Emma Warner of a 7:14.732 for her 4K individual pursuit. Well, coming up very shortly, we will continue with the women's individual pursuit qualifying competition. Lucy Nelson from Liverpool University waiting in the wings. She'll be up on track next.
So next to go, representing Liverpool University, will be Lucy Nelson. Silver medal at the time trial here yesterday.
Up now in the women's individual pursuit here at the BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships. It's Lucy Nelson of Liverpool University, 11th in the time trial yesterday. Lucy looking to beat the best time set so far by Freya Taylor of Cambridge University of a 5:42.296 underway for her 16 laps of the Derby Velodrome.
She took the bronze medal in the individual pursuit last year. She also rode the Tour of Britain Women last year, finishing in the top 30 on stage 4. She started and finished in Warrington. So accomplished rider both on road and track. A British National Omnium Championship bronze medalist back in 2023 is Lucy Nelson.
So Nelson setting a pace much quicker than the previous riders. She's over 11 seconds quicker, and I think you can see the amount of power going down early from the Liverpool University student. Now, if she can carry this momentum through, then she's going to be setting some time here. So now staying super tight to the bottom of the track in the first few laps. Used just a little bit more of the banking around the corners to build the speed.
Distance, just a lap, a bit away now for Lucy Nelson. Silver medal already at these BUCS Championships for last night's time trial. Incidentally, that medal presentation for the time trial competition last night will take place at the end of today's racing session, along with medals from today.
So at the halfway stage, the silver medalist from the time trial here yesterday is now well ahead of the time, over 16 seconds faster at the halfway stage than Freya Taylor of Cambridge University. Lucy Nelson just needs to keep this pace up. She's going to go top of the pile in this individual pursuit qualification here at the BUCS Championships.
Race last year. I'm sure Lucy and the newly named Smith Westrock cycling team will be looking forward to the first round of the Women's Elite Road Series, which is less than a month away now at the Rutland Melton Cycle Classic. Coming at the end of what is now this month? New month, isn't it? 1st of March.
So, next time round, just a kilometre to go for Lucy Nelson. Now 20 seconds inside the fastest time. Can she power down even more in this last kilometre?
The split, she went through the 4 laps to go marker.
.5:42.296 set by Freya Taylor of Cambridge University.
She presents as aerodynamic a profile as possible.
Now, as Lucy Nelson crosses the line with 2 laps to go, she's well inside a minute of the fastest time. Now just shy of 22 seconds faster than Freya Taylor. Top 4 going through to compete for the medals.
Will it be good enough to get her into a medal ride later? Still 8 more riders to go after Lucy.
So the bell will go. Just inside 5 minutes to complete 15 of the 16 laps.
So this is the final lap of the track for Lucy Nelson.
It's going to be somewhere around 5:17, 5:20-ish on the line, and it's literally just shy of 5:20, 5:19.789 is the fastest time so far. Is it enough to put her in to the gold medal race? Top 2 here will compete for the gold medal. 3rd and 4th fastest will go for the bronze medal. So 5:19.789 set by Lucy Nelson of Liverpool University. A couple of students from Loughborough University up next. First, wearing number 71, Eva Callanan. That's the 30-second warning. Loughborough University's Eva Callanan underway for her 4K individual pursuit qualifying here at the BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships.
I think she's going to ride a schedule according to how loudly supporters cheer. The louder they get, the faster she goes. Feel free to join in, though. So, Amy Callanan of Loughborough University, one of the nation's foremost sporting universities. Great facility down there at Loughborough. And pleasure of commentating on the Festival of Cycling there a couple of years ago. Racing around the grounds of the university complex. Big climb on one side, the fast descent down the other.
So pretty much setting level pegging times with Lucy Nelson. Eva Callanan, if she can keep this kind of pace up, is going to be challenging for a top 4 position and thus a shot at a medal here in the women's individual pursuit.
Lucy Nelson's pace at 1:2:19. That is not far from the mark at the moment. So if you can keep this momentum going, she can challenge for a place at the top of the leaderboard and eventually a place in a medal final later today.
So 1 kilometre down, and there's really nothing in it on the split times compared with the fastest time so far set by Lucy Nelson. Two minutes down, just a second over the fastest time now, but 9 laps remaining.
Halfway mark next time round. Within the second of Lucy Nelson at the first kilometre checkpoint.
Just dropping away now, but the coach calling out for her to pump down and put in another little effort, coming a little higher out of 2. So an indication that Eva Callanan, the bronze medalist in this event last year, knows that she's got some work to do. She hasn't quite cut the deficit down, but she's now not shipping more time. Still 1.3 seconds off Lucy Nelson, the best time. Still motoring hard, now starting to put a dent in the deficit, down to 1.2 seconds behind, and still working hard.
1.5 kilometres to go this time.
Still powering down, but starting to drop away again. Seems to prefer coming out of 1 and 2, using the banking to build her speed. Still drifting away, so still powering hard. Eva Callanan from Loughborough University, 1.773 seconds off the fastest time. Powering down hard. She needs to stay inside the top 4 at the moment. She's easily going to make it into the top 4. She wants to be top 2, ideally, to contest for the gold medal.
Really deep into burn. It's harder and harder to keep the bike down. Bottom of the track.
Just starting to stiffen up. 1.72 down still. Still using the banking, still trying to get inside that time. Has cut another 10th off it. The supporters helping her on. Proud sporting heritage, Loughborough University. And Eva Callanan will get the bell. 2:50 to go as she crosses the line. And she's really very close indeed. Now under 1.45 seconds inside the fastest time. She's worked really hard over these last 8 laps to stay in contention. It's not quite going to be enough, but it's not a bad effort through the last 8. A 5:29.39. Gets a big cheer from her supporters here, just down the road from Loughborough in Derby, as Eva Callanan sets the 2nd fastest time so far.
Incidentally, I must emphasise that the event is correctly titled as the female individual pursuit as opposed to the women's individual pursuit, which I may have erroneously called it, and which actually says on our schedule.
Well, a great cheer from Eva Callanan, and a round of applause actually coming from this young lady here. Mary Porton, a fellow student at Loughborough University, up next, wearing number 78. So underway, Mary Porton from Loughborough University, trying to challenge for the top 4 places. Fastest time so far set by Lucy Nelson of Liverpool University of a 5:19.789. Just a little under 1.5 seconds slower. Mari's teammate and fellow student from Loughborough University, Eva Callanan, with a 5:20.939. Third fastest time at the moment, Freya Taylor from Cambridge University. And 4th, Maisie Vasic of Coventry University. Those 4 occupying currently the top 4 places will contest for the medal. So Maisie Vasic on the bubble, as you may have heard it referred to, the rider in danger. She set a time of 6:14.814. And that is the time to beat to get inside the top 4, of course. Mary Porton will be looking to go a little bit faster than that.
Commentary of that. She's 7th actually in the Grand Prix. And she's top 10 in the women's female junior road race championships in 2024 as well. Just outside the top 10 of the Otley Grand Prix last July. So the quickest rider on road and track is Mary Porton. So the 2nd kilometre.
So teammate calling out the times, the lap times. And she is now powering out and going faster at this stage than the fastest time set by Lucy Nelson.
For Mary Porton next time round.
Seems that Mary Porton is just pacing herself at the moment. Just holding off around 8:8.91 on the lap times. She was clear of time. She was a good second inside the time. So she's just easing off a little bit because she doesn't want to expend her energy. She's now nearly 4 seconds faster than Lucy Nelson. She wants to keep some power in those legs though. Just over a kilometre to go once she crosses the line.
Silver medalist in the national finals in the team sit last year.
This is going to be a fast time if Murray Porton can keep the pace on. Loughborough University student is absolutely flying through this final kilometre.
Challenge. Lucy Nelson here.
She could break this time here by 8, even 9 seconds. 5:19.789 the time to beat to go top of the pile.
.19.789 was Nelson's time. 1 left to go next time round for Mary Porton. Lines of the Loughborough University camp.
Well, this could be down as low as a 5:10, 5:11. Setting some pace here. Just starting to ease up a little bit. 8 seconds inside the time as Murray Porton gets the bell. Coming down the back straight.
5:8.822 with half a lap to go.
It's going to be around that 5:10 mark. And it's a 5:10.250. And Murray Porton has smashed the time of Lucy Nelson by a little over 9 seconds. So, dropping out of the top 4, Macy Vasic. Top 4 now occupied in order by Murray Porton, Lucy Nelson, Ava Callanan and Freya Taylor of Cambridge. 2 Loughborough students in the top 4 along with Lucy Nelson of Liverpool and Freya Taylor from Cambridge.
So time is out by 4 for this one. Right from Nottingham University. Tilly Gurney, she's known throughout the world of cycling.
Matilda Gurney from Nottingham University. Rider number 7. Gurney from Nottingham University. One of 2 Nottingham University students in this female individual pursuit qualification here at Derby Arena Velodrome. Time of 5:10.250 set by Murray Porton of Loughborough University. The fastest time set, anything inside 5:42.296 will provisionally put Gurney into the top 4, and that's where these riders need to be to qualify for the medal races. "16 laps of the track to complete, 4 kilometres. So through the first 1 kilometre and 1.3 seconds inside the time. Legs pumping away, but very smoothly. position very stable here.
Silver medal already in the bag for Tilly Gurney, winning the time trial yesterday. And she had a law. Well, first objective is to secure a place in a medal final.
Time trial gold for Matilda Gurney yesterday here in these BUCS Track Cycling Championships. And that is some form she's showing as well.
In the Indian Pursuit for 2025. So last year, on the way to her gold medal, Tilly Gurney contested a 3 km 12 lap Indian
Coming up to the halfway stage, and Gurney currently over 2 seconds inside the fastest time.
16 laps or 4 kilometres for the female riders. That's the halfway point.
Still looking smooth as she crosses the start-finish straight. Legs still powering through, looking very relaxed.
Current pace. Keep this going and indeed lifting towards the end of the ride. We saw with Mary Porson in the previous heat. She is faster than Porson at the equivalent distance. So to keep this effort going, the defending champion looking good for a place in a final later today.
So the gold medalist from 2024 showing the form that took her to the title last year. Time trial gold already this year at these championships and is 4.3 seconds inside the time with 1 kilometre to go.
The hardest kilometre in the individual pursuit. To keep that effort going right through to completion of the ride. Still faster than Mary Porson. By some margin, in fact. So again, she is building already rapid pace.
Well, if anything, Matilda Gurney is putting down the afterburners here. She was well inside the time with 1 kilometre to go, but she's accelerating even more. She wants to go top of the pile and take any risk of not being in the gold medal match, the gold medal race a little bit later on. She'll have the bell next time around, and she is well inside the required time. 1 to go, 4 minutes 45 seconds, or just under, as she crosses the line for the final time. This is going to be some time. 5:04-ish, 5:03, 5:47. What a time that is. Taking just under 7 seconds out of Mary Porson. Matilda Gurney, the gold medalist from last year, looking strong to defend her title, goes top of the pile. And dropping out of the top 4, Freya Taylor of Cambridge, who went out first. Top 4 in order: Matilda Gurney from Nottingham University, Mary Porson from Loughborough University, Lucy Nelson from Liverpool, and Eva Callanan from Loughborough. Coming up shortly, Lottie Dawson looking to match her fellow student Matilda Gurney with an electric time. Three riders remaining. First up, Lottie Dawson from Nottingham University. Her teammate Matilda Gurney set a 5:03, 5:47 on the previous run. The fastest time set so far. Top 4 going through. Dawson's job to beat the time set by Eva Callanan from Loughborough of 5:29.39 to get into the top 4.
Dawson rode for the UK on the form team in 2024. Seventh in the Solihull CC road race last July.
Well, coming through the first kilometre, Dawson is a second, just under a second inside her teammate's time.
It's the second kilometre for Lottie Dawson. Second competitor for Nottingham. She saw her teammate Tilly Getty riding to a comfortable lead, 5:03.547, the new benchmark set by Getty in the previous heat.
So now we need to look at the form of Lottie Dawson. Like her teammate who set the fastest time, Matilda Gurney, has got a solid fixed position in the upper body. Tucked up nicely for aerodynamic efficiency, and putting down the afterburners just a little bit more here, even though she is inside her teammate's time. Those legs still pumping. There's an efficiency though to the rhythm.
That is the 8-lap marker, 2:31.797. Still just inside the time of Gurney, so if she can keep this pace going, until Gurney built her speed in the second half of the ride.
So smooth, and it's still hammering in times. Well inside 9 seconds for the lap. It's creeping up to 1.8 seconds faster than her teammate. Can she keep this pace through though? 5 to go when she comes around the next time. So just over a kilometre to go. One 5 inside the fastest time now. Lottie Dawson.
Into the closing kilometre for Lottie Dawson.
So starting just to hold up a little bit now. Which are coming inside 1 second faster. She's starting to drop away here a little bit, Lottie Dawson. Can she hang on? She'll get the bell next time around. She's 0.7 of a second inside. Is she aware of that to make these minor changes to save some energy? 2:50 to go for Lottie Dawson. She was just 0.3 ahead of her teammate's fastest time. Oh, it is super close now. We have to count this in hundredths of seconds to see if she's going to get the fastest time. And crosses the line in 5:04.077. In the end, just dropping away a touch from her teammate. But it's the two Nottingham University students who are top of the pile. Matilda Gurney with a 5:03.547 from Lottie Dawson, her fellow student, 5:04.077. Top 2 times set. And that means that Ava Callanan's chance of a medal here in the individual pursuit has gone. So Matilda Gurney of Nottingham leads her fellow student Lottie Dawson from Nottingham University in the top 2 places. Liverpool's Lucy Nelson and Loughborough's Murray Porton occupying the other half of the top 4. Next up, Corinne Hall from Salford University. Penultimate qualifier then for the female individual pursuit competition here at the BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships of 2025. Corinne Hall of Salford University with 16 laps to compete. She's looking to get inside the top 4. She needs to beat the time of 5:19.789 set by Lacey Nelson of Liverpool University in order to give herself a chance of going for the medals.
Her own destiny today.
Corinne Hall's coach just at the entry to turn 1. Asking just to hold off a little bit. Maybe came out a touch too hot for her own pace.
In the northwest of England. Received the NBE in 2017, part of the New Year's Honours for her performances as pilot in the paracycling and Paralympic events. Still need some more signs at St Rosie's Racing in Twickenham. Of course, a member of the Soaring Racing team, the team that was put together by our most successful ever Paralympian Dame Sarah Story. Corinne Hall. 1:55.349 with 10 laps to go.
So Corinne Hall halfway through this, and for those of you who love her cycling, you're going to love Corinne Hall. She's represented Great Britain at the 2016 Paralympic Games as the sighted pilot for British cycling Paralympian legend Laura Facki. Pair got the gold in the individual pursuit in Rio, bronze in the road time trial. She also picked up 3 bronze medals at the recent Paris Paralympic Games in the individual pursuit, road race and road time trial. Having competed for Great Britain as a cyclist, switched to being pilot for the Paralympians, and Hall was appointed an MBE in 2017 and an OBE just a couple of years ago for her services to cycling. A bit of a legend on the track here in Derby. She's setting some time here as well with 1 kilometre to go. She's nearly 3 seconds inside the fastest time set by Matilda Gurney of Nottingham University. Corinne Hall looking for a medal here. Remember, this is just qualifying, but you need to be in the top 4 at the end of this run for a place in the medal finals. Now nearly 3.5 seconds inside, and seems to be accelerating more than anything else, just getting slightly faster. 3:07 inside the time now. Should get the bell this time round, and nearly 3:08 ahead of the time, the fastest time set by Matilda Gurney. Corinne Hall is booking herself into the medal matches. Which position will she end up in? Top of the pile here means she'll be in the gold medal race. And it's the first time inside 5 minutes, a 4:59.647. And that is some time to beat by Corinne Hall. She will definitely be in the gold medal race in this female individual pursuit with just one rider to come. Corinne Hall tops the pile, breaking 5 minutes here in the individual pursuit qualification.
Consistent pace throughout the line. And our only 5-minute riders qualification round. Just one rider to go. And she's climbing aboard her machine here. The starting straight, representing Stirling University months ago, will be Millie Thompson.
So the last rider wearing 110, Millie Thompson, Stirling University. Stirling up in Scotland. Millie Thompson from Stirling University begins her 4-kilometre individual pursuit qualification run. Leading the way at the moment, Salford University's Corinne Hall from Nottingham's Matilda Gurney and Nottingham's Lottie Dawson. Currently sitting on the bubble in 4th place, Loughborough University's Mari Portman with a 5:10.250. That is the time to beat for Millie Thompson to make it into the medal races here in the female individual pursuit competition here at the BUCS Cycling Championships of 2025. So winner of the Scottish National Championships in 2023 as part of the team pursuit. Millie Thompson, 2.7 seconds outside of Corinne Hall's fastest time. Give you a point of reference, she's within 10 seconds, 10 and some change of Corinne Hall's time. She will be inside the top 4 to compete for gold. She either needs to beat the 4:59.647 set by Corinne Hall or get inside 5:03.547, the second fastest time of Matilda Gurney.
Work to do here to try and match the pace of Corinne Hall. Of course, no match the pace will take place in a medal final later in the day. She needs to go first in the 5:10.250 to displace Mari Porton, who's currently lying 4th. And the fastest 4 go to the medal finals. First and second fastest for the gold medal, and third and fourth fastest for the bronze. 1.5 kilometres to go. This time for Millie Thompson of Stirling. She's hoping she will lift the pace in the closing kilometre and a half. So just to reinforce the information I gave you a couple of moments ago.
So now just dropping a little over 9 seconds off the pace. She needs to keep that inside 10. Millie Thompson, and she's dropped away to 10.414 off the pace. So the fourth place rider, Murray Porton, will be watching on.
That's the important business on the track.
Just inside Murray Porton's time, but anything more as she starts to drop away further now. A 12.7 second gap off the checkpoint set by Corinne Hall, but she looks like she's just starting to drift away now after a hard start, making all the effort early to try and break the top four here. Millie Thompson starting to drift away now. Has she got anything left in the tank? She's going to need to put down some effort with 2 to go.
So she's over 7 seconds slower than the pace of Corinne Hall. It's still inside the pace of Murray Porton. So Murray Porton with scoreboard.
So gets the bell with just under 5 on the clock. She's got to beat 5:10.250 to be inside the top 4. It looks like that's going to drift away from her. And she's going to be outside the top 4 placings. But what an effort from Millie Thompson here. Crosses the line in a 5:18.869. So finishes in 5th place, but the top 4 led out by Corinne Hall of Salford University, Matilda Gurney from Nottingham, followed by her fellow student Lottie Dawson, and completing the top 4, Mary Porton from Loughborough University, who will be watching that one with her heart in her hand. Top 4, Hall, Dawson, Gurney, Porton make it through to the medal matches. Millie Thompson just missing out in 5th place. Well, we've got more to come here in this session as the women's sprint knockouts come up next, but it's time for a short break.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
strength inside myself. Fulfill my destiny, leave it on the battlefield with the rest of me. I was born for this. I was born for this. It's how I was made, running through my veins. I'm here to stay, never gonna quit. I was born for this. I was born for this. Taking off the gloves, I've had enough, it's in my blood. I was born for this. 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 It's how I was made, running through my veins. I'm here to stay, never gonna quit. I was born for this. 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 I was in the darkness, heartless, left for dead, long forgotten. Something was pushing me, pulling me straight down to the bottom. Then I came alive, I walked through the fire. My mind turned the embers to red. Got caught in the deep, but I calmed the seas, and I'll never be the same. Only thing that I can say is I was meant for this, and I'll never second guess it. Fight till my last breath, 'cause I was born to be a legend. I was born to be a legend. 'Cause I was born to be a legend. When you've been to hell and back, you're swearing that you'll never take what you got for granted. Rising from the rubble, struggle, I'm gonna be the last one standing. It runs through my blood, I've just begun to see I'm the one, I'm the chosen. The power inside is starting to rise. I know I was made for this moment. Only thing that I can say is I was meant for this, and I'll never second guess it. Fight till my last breath, 'cause I was born to be a legend. I was born to be a legend. 'Cause I was born to be a legend. Legends are born when the battle is raging. The blood in the fight, sacrifice that is made, and the reason we never stop till we make history. Oh, oh, oh. I put it all on the line and I made it. Reminded of why when I look in your eyes. I wish I could stay, but I'm destined for so much more. 'Cause I was born to be a legend. Oh, born to be a legend.
Yeah, confirmed. We're on women's sprint, round 1, last of 16. Event number 3 on the schedule.
We're back in the Derby Arena Velodrome here for the BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships 2025. And we're moving on to the sprint qualification knockouts. Our first heat, Rhiannon Harris-Smith of Derby University competing on our home velodrome with Samantha Holden of Nottingham Trent. Match sprint is possibly the most tactical of the 6 events. A bit of a misnomer given that much of the race the 2 riders like now are doing anything but sprinting. Competition begins with the high-speed flying 200-metre time trial, which we've seen already. And the match sprints are highly tactical battles where the riders start side by side and race over 3 laps of the track. Much of the race, as you can see right now, is about trying to maneuver the other rider into a disadvantageous position before an extraordinary explosive burst of speed for the final 200 metres. So there's the bell. Win and you're through. Lose and you're out, and you can see that the position taken up by Para-Smith clearly sees her through over the line and through the first of the sprint heats.
Smoothly progresses into the quarterfinals of the female sprint. This is where the time.
Got 6 heats to go.
Because of course we have the fastest rider in qualification, Rhiannon Harris-Smith, matched against the slowest, Samantha Holden. So Samantha was always going to be up against it there with the pace of Rhiannon Harris-Smith.
So the qualification pits the fastest rider against the slowest, and Para-Smith there proving why she was top of the pile in that flying 200.
I'm having a great time.
14.3 seconds, we're closing 200 metres. So was academic interest because Rhiannon Para-Smith decreased their pace, which you realise she had competed by Samantha Holden. Sprinters like to preserve as much energy as they possibly can, so don't make any unnecessary effort.
We're preparing for the second heat, which you'll see Harriet Watts' Sarah Johnson take on Southampton's Devon Sansom. Johnson set a 11.859, the junior national champion in the flying 200. Sanson at 16.195. Johnson wearing 52, just coming into shot.
Drawing the inside position, nearest inside the track is Devon Sansom.
So we're expecting the red and blue painted rider to take this one. Johnson 52 on her bib. Sansom 105.
That's the tool on the greatest wheel of Devon Sansom. Hopefully you may become entranced on the hypnotic effect as she pedals around the banking here.
So trying to manoeuvre your opponent into
keeping a very careful eye on our opponent here.
Difficult place to launch the sprint from. Johnson happy to sit at the back so that she can spring the surprise.
Just about speed, it's about tactics as well.
And now Johnson makes the move over the top coming into the third bend, around the fourth. Needs to keep her eye on where she's going as well as looking back at her opponent. Gets the bell and she looks like she's done this comfortably. She's just keeping her eye behind her, not full power here. Sanson trying to just take it around the outside of the final bend, but Johnson well in control of this one and over the line without ever getting up to full lick.
Sarah Johnson is the winner of heat number 2. She too will progress directly into the quarter-final lineup.
So we've seen Paris Smith of Derby University and Johnson from Heriot Watt going through to the quarterfinals. Heat number 3 sees Edley Gage of Nottingham Trent wearing the number 97 bib, finishing with the third fastest time in the flying 200 of 12.269, taking on Neve Elliott from Sheffield University, set of 14.562. Neve will be wearing bib number 102.
And it looks as though Neve Elliott of Sheffield managed to roll that inside line. Ellie Gage elected to start much further up the track, and there's actually no specification where on that line you start, provided the inside rider is closest to the inside of the track from the outside rider. Well, it's on a relatively short approach to the first corner, such as this track here at
Heat number 3 underway. Elodie Gage wearing 97, representing Nottingham Trent University, taking on Neve Elliott 102 on her bib, competing for Sheffield University, but a fall there.
I would call that more of a graceful dismount than a crash as such, but the end result is the same. Riders will be brought back to the line.
Just inside the 200 metre line, so a little egg on face, but they'll be brought back to the line to start again. Well, doing her best to smile it off.
Not the worst for her encounter with Derby woodwork.
So Neve Elliott coming off the back. The stadium announcer called it a graceful dismount.
Or a combination of the two. Generally, the riding provokes the stoppage that starts on the inside. But
Well, the athletes will line up again.
Kind of.
So Neve Elliott of Sheffield University on the inside, Elodie Gage of Nottingham Trent University on the outside. Elodie Grace with a third fastest time through qualification.
So there we go.
Heat number 3 gets underway, the second time of asking, and Elliott just going out a little bit faster than before.
In a building full of university students, I'm sure you don't need me to explain the critical relationship between forward velocity and height. The graphic would draw that represents that.
So Elodie Gage just sitting, waiting to pounce. quite comfortable with the 4 or 5 meter gap, although looking just to close that up a little bit. Neve Elliott just trying to keep control of the pace and keep an eye on her opponent. Now, despite looking like they're completely looking backwards, the peripheral vision will allow the riders at the front to see where the track is. And now some pace coming from the back. Gage still going high, but the door was left open there, and an easy run through the middle and around the top bend, out the straight. She's broken this one apart, Elodie Gage. Elodie Gage is going to take this at a canter in the end. Elodie Gage of Nottingham Trent taking heat number 3.
So it is Elodie Gage next rider through into the quarterfinal stage.
So we've seen Para-Smith of Derby University going through along with Johnson and now Gage.
From today, other than the fact that you need to ride faster to back it and you don't leave the door open for your opponents to top men underneath you. Every day's a school day, or maybe a university day. So heat number 4 next year. Jodie Taylor of Derby will take on Beatrix Kilman of Glasgow.
So halfway through the heats here, next up we'll see Jodie Taylor of Derby University wearing bib number 3, 4th fastest qualifier, taking on Beatrice Kilman from Glasgow University wearing number 49. She set a time of 13.766 in qualifying compared to Taylor's 12.435. So the times in qualification now just narrowing up a little bit. We get underway. Heat number 4, Jodie Taylor wearing 23, Beatrice Kilman 49 with the yellow top sitting at the back. And they've just gone out a little bit quicker than the other heats as the time comparison between the two in qualification narrows. We'll see some different tactics employed. Kilman happy to stay high and is the advantageous position. But she comes over the top, and now Taylor's moved into a good position to strike. Dropping down, she pushes out early here. Both high in the track. Advantage with Kilman on position, but the door is being left open here.
Left around for Taylor to take. Taylor moves through and then moves up again.
Both conscious of when to break, but they're both going to break at the same time here. And here we go. This is going to be tight. Looks like Taylor has got the break here, just pulled away at the right time. She timed that perfectly, as well as holding on to as much energy as she can, conserving her energy as Jodie Taylor picked the right moment in heat number 5 and qualifies through to the quarterfinals.
Final 2 heats in prospect, each of 3 riders. And from these heats, the first 2 across the line will go into the quarterfinal draw.
So 4 through, half of the quarterfinals complete. And now we move on to the last 2 heats. Both heats 5 and 6 consist of 3 riders. The top 2 over the line, the first 2 over the line, qualifying for the quarterfinals to join Taylor, Gage, Johnson and Para-Smith.
Have you not seen 3 of us?
The higher you get on the wall, the more speed. The gears on these bikes are huge. They're not. It's what you put in. There's no like shift. Time to get Tom on a bike and see if he can sprint for 3 laps.
There is a rule in the world of track cycling that riders from the same team who are similarly attired have to have another means of differentiation other than their number on their back. So if you're looking for that, I can tell you that Sinead Turner-Frick has got the white socks and shoes. Elizabeth Broughton has got the black socks and shoes. There you go.
So here we go. Amy Dixon from Loughborough lines up with 2 Nottingham University students.
So as I suggested, it's less of a tactical battle with 3 riders.
Elizabeth Broughton with the black shoes and socks. She's wearing number 92, and her fellow student Sinead Turner-Frick with the white shoes and socks, wearing 91. Difficult one with 3 in the racing. 2 from the same team can work together, and that is exactly what they do. Coming around the outside on the belt, putting down the power. And what a great race in the end as they cross the line. It's Amy Dixon through along with Elizabeth Broughton. She timed that one very well indeed, Amy Dixon, conscious of the fact that the 2 Loughborough students could work against her. She goes through. Elizabeth Broughton joins her.
One more female sprint, round 1 qualification heat to go. The 3 riders once again to this one.
One of the UON cyclists. Don't think they won either.
Well, one more heat to go here at the Derby Arena Velodrome. We'll see Georgia Holt. Georgia Holt from the University of Central Lancashire, wearing 114. She goes up against Rhiannon Briffa of Derby University. She'll be wearing number 24. And Catherine Hinton from Exeter University wearing number 34. Top 2 going through to the women's sprint quarterfinals.
There's a central ponytail positioning going on around there for Catherine Hinton.
Rhiannon Briffa of Derby University already on track. Positioned first in the high position. Georgia Holt in the middle.
Inside position here is Catherine Hinton of Exeter. So this is the 6th and final heat of this female sprint round 1. 2 riders to go through.
We're underway. Catherine Hinton wearing the green top, number 34 from Exeter University, taking out to the front from Georgia Holt and Rhiannon Briffa. Bring up the rear for Derby University.
See a bit more of a tactical battle of the 3 riders on the track here. Holt in the middle in the back. And Briffa from Derby in the rear race position.
Briffa happy to sit out the back. It's interesting to see that Holt is keeping more of an eye on her than she is the Exeter University student in front of her, Catherine Hinton. Hinton could use that to her advantage and break away. Looks like Hinton is going for it on the tight line, just coming a little higher so that she can drop in to gain some momentum. This is going to be tight. They're going to get the bell as they come round, but here goes Georgia Holt round the outside, followed out by Rhiannon Briffa. Hinton looks like she's been dropped here, and she has indeed. As they come across the line, it'll be Georgia Holt from Rhiannon Briffa to complete the women's sprint quarter-final lineup.
Catherine Hinton links in from the sprint competition, finishing third in that heat.
Well worked by Holt and Briffa. They make it through to the quarter-finals. So that lineup for the women's sprint quarter-finals. We'll see Rhiannon Para-Smith as we look back at the break from Holt and Briffa. They come around the final bend and they've broken away from Hinton. Hinton had a little sniff there. She stayed in contention, but at 200 meters to go, Holt and Briffa broke away. So Holt and Briffa through to the quarterfinals, along with Dixon, Broughton, Taylor, Gage, Johnson and Paris Smith. That is the female sprint quarterfinals lineup complete. And we'll be returning to action from that event a little bit later on. Coming up next, we'll have the qualification for the Open Team Pursuit here at the Derby Arena Velodrome.
New event.
Take these beautiful things that I've got. Think that I've got. These beautiful things that I've got. Think that I've got. These beautiful things that I've got.
Time now for the Open Team Pursuit qualifying round. 4 kilometers of the track, 16 laps. The top 4 teams going through to the final. 10 teams line up for qualification, starting with Bath University. Bath with Daniel McLean-Howell, George Gray, Henry Higgins and Richie Selfie. Time trial. That's the format of the qualifying round. Only one team on the track at a time.
So this is the team from Bath University.
So Bath University represented here in the Open Team Pursuit qualification, wearing bib number 2, Daniel McLean-Howell. Number 3, wearing number 3, George Gray. Henry Higgins, number 4, and Richie Selfie, number 5. Henry Higgins getting the bronze medal in this competition last year. Member of that team that competed in 2024. 16 high-speed laps around this track. Only the teams with the 4 fastest times can compete for gold, so difficult going out first to know what pace to set. Times are taken on the third cyclist to cross the line, so no need for the fourth rider even in the team at all. But got to be thinking about this aerodynamic train. The person at the front doing most of the work, and so you'll see them peel away up the track for the next rider to have a stint at the front, share the workload whilst the others sit in your draft. And there we see the athletes peeling away.
Depending which end of the country you favour, this is either Bath or Bath. As I'm a proud northerner, it's Bath.
So leading the line now up front, Daniel McLean-Howell for Bath University. The white discs on his tyres, easy to spot. And he breaks away. So McLean-Howell sitting at the back now. Doing his stint at the front. Henry Higgins got the bronze medal in this competition last year for Bath University. Doing the heavy work at the moment through the halfway stage. 2 down, 2 kilometres to go. And Higgins has done his stint at the front, breaks away and picks up the train very neatly. Just braking slightly around the bends, but quite a neat train on the straights for Bath University. Leading at the front, Richie Selfie just peels away. And Selfie, in fact, pulls out of the team. Like I said, only 3 need to cross the line. Out front, George Gray just peeling away now for McLean-Howell to pick up the front of the train. Drops in nicely though.
So leaving George Gray against Daniel McLean-Howell has completed the job for Bath. 5 to go. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction to this competition, this is final.
So McLean-Howell up front from Gray and Higgins.
And we'll endeavour to fan out across the full width of the track, so there's little or no difference in man 1 and man 3, as the time is taken on the third.
Daniel McLean-Howell putting in a big stint at the front here. Is he going to carry them through? He's just starting to break away. He doesn't want to break that train too much.
Little gap here to man 3, this is a danger moment.
And now George Gray just dropping off the back, and as McLean-Howell just drops out, and as you can see, that's now broken them up through this final lane. The aerodynamic train has been broken with 2 to go. So now you've got 2 athletes working together at the back. They're switching over neatly. McLean-Howell now sitting in the middle here. And just unable to keep the train together in the end. The bell goes as Henry Higgins is just caught by McLean-Howell, but they've dropped George Gray. George Gray's time is the one that will count here. He needs to work super hard to get over the line. The clock won't stop yet. The clock will stop now though, as George Gray crosses the line with a 4:37.544. Hard to say where that is going to leave them, but Bath University set the time. 4 minutes, 37 seconds, 5:44.
Of course, it's very easy for me to sit here and say that's how you utilise the team, because it's not quite so easy when you're on the track and you have to do it. If you lose contact, very difficult to get back on. That's amply demonstrated by Bath University in our first of 10 years. Next team on track will be Cambridge University.
So 10 teams in the lineup. Bath have set the time of 4:37.544. Up next, Cambridge University.
So the team of Cambridge University comes to the track.
So Cambridge up on track. Kobe Allen, Tom Hale, Felix Baker. 3 of the 4 on track.
James Maxon, Tom Hale and Felix Baker.
So James Maxon is the one that joins them for this qualification. So Alan Hale, Maxon, Baker for Cambridge University. Top 4 teams through to contest the medals.
Kobe Allen leading the way.
So number 6, Kobe Allen, takes to the front to start things off as the train tries to get lined up pretty quickly through the first lap. Good pacing there from Kobe Allen. It's brought the 4 together. So you can see that this train's not as tightly knit together as the Bath University team train. There's gaps between them. The trick here in this team qualification is to stay as tight to the tyre in front of you as possible. Another part of the technique is that peel away there, performed by James Maxon. James Maxon now sitting at the back of the train. There's this peel away here from Felix Baker. The technique is to drop right back onto the back of the train, but he has been dropped off the back of the train, and that effectively leaves him as a 3, although it does look like did make an effort there to stay on the back of the train, but looks like Felix Baker has just dropped off this Cambridge team in qualification. That's fine, you only need 3 to cross the line, but that was an early departure for sure.
And the gap to man 3 is regaining the group now, but sign perhaps. Things to come here for Cambridge. So stepping the ship here. And you just lost ground to Tom Hale.
So Hale
just using the height of the banking just to propel.
Just coming off the front.
Again, we get to the third line here. This time it's Kobe Allen, who's struggling with the pace. So another 2 need to throttle back and make sure they take Kobe Allen with them. This is where coaching is required.
Well, the train split up here, much like the Bath team, but a bit earlier here, as James Maxon is at the front.
Third place. But you need to just allow him to catch them back up.
They're having to slow here to allow their number 3 to catch up with them. Benefit from the aerodynamic train. Kobe Allen does indeed catch up with them, but the pace has slowed off. Doing a big stint out the front there, James Maxon peels away.
4.5 seconds.
Dropping onto the back. They're not quite as slick as the Bath team in their reintroduction to the back of the group. The idea would be to just climb high enough up the wall to then just drop back in right on the back of the final rider.
Critical stage of the team pursuit here. Time to beat 4:37.544, boosted by benefit the opening heat.
Tom Hale having just to slow up to bring his teammates back into the train. Difficult to time that perfectly. Can use a bit of the banking. And when you come dropping down off the banking, you'll actually accelerate. So Maxim hanging on at the back, but you can see at the front, Hale has just pulled away and he's pedaling with very little effort. They're going to get the bell this time around. Remember, third man across the line will stop the stopwatch. And this one fell apart quite early on as the fourth man dropped out early. So across the line come Cambridge and set a time of 4:52.446.
I think Cambridge paid the price for going down to 3 riders relatively early in the ride, moving the majority of the race to be completed by the remaining 3 riders on the track.
Well, we take a look here. The train broken away, held way up front, and they just had to battle hard, the other two, just to stay in contention, whilst Hell effectively slowed up to try and give them some kind of benefit from the drag around the final bend. Cambridge setting a time of 4:52.446. Next up, the home team, wearing number 16, Jack Ball, 17, Benjamin Flatow, 19, Evan Schofield, and number 20, Rhys Thomas, here to represent Derby University. So all pegged in and ready to go. So the open team pursuit continues with Derby University.
Evan Schofield, Benjamin Flatow, and Rhys Thomas. Rhys Thomas it was who led them away from the line.
Rhys Thomas out front for Derby University, and they've settled into their train very quickly here. This is a promising start from the team who train on this track. They'll know it well. Breaking away and then dropping back in neatly. Very nice transition there as Jack Bow leads now. Bow breaking away and dropping down. They have got that down pat, that transition. As Benjamin Flatow goes out to the front. And now a transition over to Evan Schofield.
So definitely a faster opening kilometre, the fastest opening kilometre we've seen in competition here so far.
Well, they've come out 2.5 seconds faster than the fastest time set so far, as Rhys Thomas goes back up front and the pace going up. Train staying nice and neat together. The aerodynamic efficiency maintained.
Good formations
Even around the bends, they are pretty slick. Here's Thomas just breaking away a little bit, but he might well peel away, and he does. Quite high and dropping in neatly. And he's pushing on the man in third, Evan Schofield. Out front doing his stint though, Jack Bowe pulling up, and Bowe's gonna pull out there. He's done his work to get the speed up here as Benjamin Flatau takes to the front of the train for Derby University. Door opens up, and Schofield takes the lead. Schofield pressing hard. The next transition could be an important one. Rhys Thomas needs to be careful not to push too hard here. He needs to keep his two teammates with him. Being a hypercritical, that was the most difficult transition so far for Derby University, but they're still staying together. Just drifting away a tiny fraction. Got to keep an eye on number 19, Evan Schofield. Seems to have found his way back to the back of the train. Benjamin Flatau back out front, pushing hard. This trio working hard as a team. Evan Schofield back out the front. Will he peel away straight away? He does peel away, and I think we're going to see these last two laps are going to be absolutely critical for Derby University. Rhys Thomas out front. Is he going to stay there for the final lap? He is. He's going to push these three over the line here. Just starting to break away at the back, clinging on as best he tries, Evan Schofield. The bell goes. They've got just over half a lap to go here. Will we see the traditional break at the final bend as the three cross the line together? There it is. Not quite three across the line at the same time, but the closest we've had so far. And a 4:31, 4:35. The fastest time set by 6 seconds, plus a little bit of change by Derby University. Best effort so far from them. Brilliant stuff then from Bowe, Flatau, Schofield and Thomas.
So just a slip over 6 seconds the advantage for Derby. Displacing down to second place in Cambridge for third.
Finest ride so far from Derby University, setting a time, a fastest time of 4:31, 4:35, and a very neat train. Signs of it breaking up a couple of times, but they pulled it all back together. Derby University leading the way, top 4 from this open team pursuit qualification through to the medal race. Glasgow University, they're one of the teams just warming up. In fact, Glasgow University have 2 teams in the competition. Just going through their pre-qualification warm-ups. Number 42 there, Rhys Edwards. Looking pretty relaxed. Next out on track though, Durham University. Durham represented by Will Dixon, Edward Gaskarth, Alex Ramahandas Viraila and James Riley.
So just juggling the line up here. Drawing lots of tears. We start on the inside. So James Riley, the man who will start on the inside, that will lead the way from the line.
So Riley, Varela, Gaskarth and Dixon for Durham University on the line.
Durham almost all of them underway. Well, we do have these controls here in the first half lap. We're going to restart if they do. So the fourth rider has failed to depart from the line.
Well, we are going to have a restart here, and that's why the Durham trio that have broken away not really going at any kind of pace. There was some kind of issue.
I think if I was at Durham University, I would have stopped and had a restart. Anyway, the three main riders will continue.
Well, it looks like they haven't gone for that. Rider number 4 disappears off into the innards of the track here, and they've taken their while, this trio, to decide they're going to go for this as a 3. Much harder work for them, but they are looking like they are settling in. Very long transition there. So leading the way after a tricky start, James Riley.
Just 3 riders right from the start. And then all 3 have to complete the distance. If you lose a third rider, then it's the race over.
So Alex Varela goes up front. It's going to be hard work for this 3. They're already 17 seconds off the pace, and that will be much down to a bit of indecision through that first lap. We all thought that Durham were going to go for a restart, but they elected not to, as it looked like it was Edward Gaskarth who decided that he could play no more part of the team. So leading now Will Dixon with the white gloves. And compared to the last team, Derby University,
26 seconds off pace.
Pace is visibly slower.
Start and the lack of the fourth rider has really impacted on the pace of Durham. A mountain to climb here for these 3. Almost as steep as the hill that takes you away from the University grounds in Durham. Over the bridge over the river and the Shannon Cathedral. Very steep climb that's featured in the Tour Series races for quite a few years. Always enjoying racing on that circuit in Durham. The 3 riders here though, remaining 3 members of the team.
So Durham University now nearly 40 seconds off the pace.
Dixon, Riley and Varela.
Varela up front, doing a stint there to break the air for his 2 teammates. But when you're down to 3, you're having to put in just that little bit more work. So over 40 seconds off the pace. This team are going through the motions here to get a time, to clock a time.
Yeah, letting 2 lines ahead of him. They want to keep it together though. Pressure will be in the closing laps. Just make sure they can try and stay together. Just a little bit of daylight. Particularly between man 1 and 2.
Well, we can see that now the gap is opening up at the front, and you don't want to see that.
So it's James
Riley moving away,
Varela second wheel.
desperately trying to close the gap. Varela, but now we've got gap between Varela and Dixon as well. Not keeping this train together, which reduces their efficiency aerodynamically and makes it even harder for the trio. Dixon drops off the front and onto the back, and Varela leads the way now for Durham University.
Like pretty much all the teams you see going for them, they've not allowed a significant gap to develop to number 3. They've just got one more lap to hold on here. So although they're start,
They'll get the bell next time around. They have held it together here as best they can with just the 3 riders, but significantly impacted by Edward Garscouth pulling out before he even got round the first bend. Durham University coming down the back straight and into the final bend. They're not setting the world alight with their time, that's for sure, but a valiant effort in the end. A 5:29, 5:39 for Durham University. They will not be threatening the podium in the open team pursuit after a shaky start to qualification. We move from the northeast of the country down to the southwest next, as Durham are replaced on track very shortly by Exeter University.
Throw it away.
Exeter University then on track for their open team pursuit qualification. Altoona, Mourinho, Hinton and Smith, the starting 4.
So the departure of the team Exeter. Peter Altoona, Joseph Mourinho, Catherine Hinton, and John
So out the front over the line to start the second lap, Catherine Hinton leading the line of the 4-1 female in the Exeter team. It is an open category. She's followed by Altoona, who will pick up the front of the train when Catherine Hilton peels away.
Heading for completion of the open kilometre next time round. Hinton doing a big turn on the front here.
So taking the burden at the front, Hinton pushing out hard through the first kilometre. It's the longest early first stint we've seen as Hinton pulls away. Altoona takes up the front. Now, does Hinton stay on the back of the train, or has she dropped off the back? It looks like she's just eased off as she's done the first kilometre out front on her own and now leaves the 3 men to finish the race off. Big effort to get the pace running, and that pace just a little off the fastest time. Remember, top 4 going through. Altoona doing a big effort up front as well. It'll be Jonty Smith who will take the lead, sitting in second place at the moment. Looks like the routine here for Exeter University is to each do a stint up the front for the first 2 kilometres. Hinton did kilometre number 1. Altoona's done kilometre number 2. Does he peel away? No, he's staying out front here. This is a big effort here from Aitor Altoona. Still showing no signs of peeling off the front. Problem for him is if he blows up, then the team are out, because Hinton's already left the 4-person team down to 3. She, of course, doing that hard work in the first kilometre out the front for the first 4 laps.
Once again, the gap to the third rider. 6 to go.
So now a gap opening up between riders 2 and 3. Jonty Smith leading Joseph Mourinho. Mourinho just trying to get onto the back of Tralin. It looks like Altoona's finally just pulled out, and he didn't even, well, he wasn't overtaken then there. I think there was a gap left for Jonty Smith to have a stint up front, but they had to just change tactics there. And Altoona is doing one hell of a stint up here because of the fact that the teammate Joseph Mourinho has been dropped. Altoona just opening things up again for Jonty Smith to go up into the front, but he doesn't even make it. Altoona still out front. And it is eating away at their time here. They're now 23 seconds, just a little under 23 seconds off the pace. Fastest time set of 4:31.475.
Marino's finally rejoined the line on the Will Smith, still
well, I thought Altoona has done one heck of a job here for Exeter University. Been up the front since the start of the second kilometre. He gets the bell and he's going to power out. He's got more left in his legs, and they're trying to push hard. Mourinho at the back, pushing on to Jonty Smith. Altoona putting in that big effort to try and pull the team along, but over the line in 5:02.97. The 4th best time so far set by Exeter University.
lead remains with Derby at 431.435.
We've got 5 teams remaining, 2 from Glasgow, 2 from Loughborough, and 1 from Nottingham University. Leading the way at the moment, it is Derby, the home team, with a 4:31.435. In second place, Bath University went out first with a 4:37.544. That time looking pretty good at the moment. Sitting in third place, 4:52.446 is Cambridge University, and Exeter with that 5:00.297 sitting in fourth place. That is the time to beat for the remaining 5 teams to make it through to the final here. Up next, we will see Glasgow's number 1 team, certainly by number, if not by ranking. Glasgow University getting underway, taking up the front. It's Kyle Thomas. Kyle Thomas out front, setting some pace here as well.
All 4 riders all riding in good formation. And that's a fast start reflected in the time. They're the fastest team over the first 2 laps.
So peeling away, leaving out front, Cormac McConville.
Leading the line here.
Conville up front, peels away, and now Tom Widdish out front.
Reflected in the very competent manner in which they're taking on this challenge. Completion of the opening kilometre, 1:12.
So inside the fastest time. Out front now, Finn McHenry.
Time of Derby on the bottom line of the scoreboard, hovering over corner 3. And very evenly matched with the pace of Derby.
Nice train here from this group.
It's marginally slower, by 1/10 of a second or so.
Nice transition, just done drop off the back a tiny bit, Finn McHenry, but he did haul it back in. Kyle Thomas peels away. Neatly back onto the back of the train though. And now leading out the front, Cormac McConville. He peels away. And it looks like Cormac McConville has pulled out to leave the 3 remaining riders to go for this.
Off the back is Cormac McConville.
So out front now.
So Wisdish,
Thomas Wisdish just peels away, and now Finn McHenry takes up the front.
5 laps remaining. start.
Train staying nice and neat, but they're just dropping away from Derby's top time by 3 seconds.
No sign of any weakness amongst the three who remain yet, all contributing to the pace.
Finn McHenry doing a big stint up the front at the moment.
So if we keep this going for the remaining 3 laps.
Pulls away, opens the door for Kyle Thomas to move into the front position, closely tracked by Thomas Widdish.
To get closer and closer to the completion of this heat.
Just starting to lose a little bit of their formation. 4 minutes in, they've just crossed the line, 3.2 seconds behind the fastest time. Kyle Thomas just having to pull up onto the track and let his teammate come in to take the bell. And the three working hard for each other here. Tom Widdish up front, dragging on teammates, Finn McHenry. And they cross the line in formation, 4:35.757. Second fastest time so far. Is it enough for the top four? 4 more teams to come here in the Derby Arena Velodrome. And up next, it's team number 2 from Glasgow as we take a look back at the work done by the Glasgow trio in Team 1.
4:37.544 and Cambridge 4:52.466. Glasgow T2 will be next on track.
Widdish doing an amazing stint up front as the team cross the line in formation.
Sorry, second.
Glasgow's number 2 team, Evan Coleman, Finn and Cole, Rhys Edwards and Kenneth Fraser getting ready to come onto the track.
So the sprint race is 4 races through that team. It'll be a big pack. Well, should be a big pack. There is a big pack in front of us.
Well, the 4 line up. They've seen their fellow students at a 4:35.757. Glasgow 2 for their open team pursuit qualifying. 4 kilometres, 16 laps of the track. They get underway, taking to the front straight away. It's Kenneth Fraser.
Glasgow T2 underway. Evan Coleman. Finn and Cole. Kenneth Fraser.
So Kenneth Fraser out front from Finn and Cole. Sitting behind him, Rhys Edwards and then Evan Coleman. Settled into their train pretty quickly, pace not too bad. Slightly slower start than Derby, but as Fraser pulls away and drops onto the back of the train, Finn and Cole takes to the front. Build through these first few laps as Cole is replaced by Rhys Edwards at the front. Edwards doing his stint up there. They're sharing the duties of braking the air.
Completion of the opening kilometre next time round.
So quarter away through the race, and they're 8 odd seconds off the pace at the moment. Could, of course, be building over the first few laps, saving a bit of energy for a big sprint at the end. Rhys Edwards up front, doing a good job so far.
Very visible orange helmet, Rhys Edwards. On the front at the moment.
Staying neatly tucked up, a big unit there as well. Will take out a lot of the air. Now peels away and replaced up front by Evan Coleman. Evan Coleman now tucked right up himself, punching his way through the air.
The two members of the team with conventionally spoked wheels and conventional helmets.
Sitting in third place at the moment, or now moving up into second place. Finn Cole just dropping the train a little bit as Evan Coleman drops off the back, having done his stint at the front. He's now left his 3 teammates to finish this one off. Just over halfway through qualification for Glasgow 2. 3 more teams to come out onto the track. Top 4 qualifying for the medal matches. Glasgow 1 just behind Derby with 4:31, 4:35, and then followed by Bath and Cambridge. Cambridge set a time of 4:52, 4:46, the time for this team to beat to give themselves a shot at a medal here. Taking to the front again, Rhys Edwards. 20 seconds off the pace now, which puts them in the danger zone here. They are outside the time they need to beat to make it through, or to give themselves a chance of making it through to the finals. Of course, 3 more teams to come out here.
They lift the pace in these 3. 750 metres to go.
Well, they really need to push on now.
4:23.958.
Starting to fall further and further away from the target time. Big stint up front though from Rhys Edwards, punching through the air. Oh, he's coming around the final bend. We'll hear the bell.
Come around. It's complete this time.
Well, they need this to be something special here to give themselves a chance of getting through to the final here. This would have to be the fastest lap they've had in the second half of this qualification run.
Back at that, final one as they came through the line.
And again, a little bit of confusion here. They thought they had 1 to go, and we're now looking at the time in venue of 5:01.203, which means that they actually finished when we heard the bell. And where does that put them? It puts them just outside of the top 4 spots, in fact in 6th place. So Glasgow 2 not going to make it through to the medal races here in the team pursuit.
Was that the last one? Did they just get the counter wrong, or?
Anyway.
They rang the bell and then didn't drop the lap.
So leading the way at the moment, it is Derby University with a 4:31, 4:35. Sitting in second place, Glasgow 1, then Bath and Cambridge University occupying the top 4 spots. Up next, it's Loughborough University first of two teams from that university.
Class 1 on Saturday afternoon. Here on day 2 of the BUCS Championships for 2024-2025.
So the lineup here for Loughborough 1: William Gilbank, Joshua Knowles, Bob Mayer and Kieran Riley.
So Loughborough 1 just getting his team ready for the start. Starter ensured all ready to go. Get the 12-second countdown.
.4K, 16 laps for Loughborough 1. Pulling out as a quartet. The four riders out on track for Loughborough. They set into a nice rhythm straight away here. And Bo Mayer, the one who's pushing out front. This is some pace he's pushing out at.
Joshua Knowles.
Really going for this up front here. Putting in a big stint here.
Loughborough 1 are faster than Derby. At the half lap to go is the opening kilometre.
An unusual way to pull out, but it wasn't because he was peeling back in and does his stint up the front. Bo Mayer has dropped out of this race now, leading at the front. Joshua Knowles.
So Knowles, Gilbank and Riley, the remaining three.
Incredible start from Bo Mayer, but he blew it all up in those first 5 laps to give his teammates the opportunity to set the fastest time. Loughborough 1 in a beautiful train, nearly 4 seconds quicker than the fastest time so far.
Loughborough is continuing to put in a rapid performance here. Seconds.
William Gilbank peels away for Kieran Riley. Kieran Riley now leading the way for Loughborough 1.
That's the first sign, perhaps.
Kieran Riley tucked up neatly, using those legs. Absolutely rapid here from Loughborough. Riley peels away. Knowles takes to the front. This is a well-oiled machine from Loughborough University. They are absolutely flying. They are nearly 8.5 seconds inside the fastest time here. If they go top of the leaderboard, they are in to the medal races here at the 2024-2025 BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships here at Durham Arena Velodrome.
Gone with 3:24.
They're now 9 seconds up, and a neat transition from front to back there as well for Josh Knowles.
The state claim in the medal final.
Out front now, William Gilbank. They've all done their stint at the front. You can see how close this unit is, increasing their aerodynamic efficiency.
Gilbank off the front. Right in the middle.
Gilbank drops away, opens the door for Kieran Riley to do another stint up front. 12 seconds inside the best time as they get the bell. This is going to be a monstrous time to beat. This is a unit working in synchrony. And this is going to smash everything we've seen so far. 4:17.585. That is not just a quick time. That is a massive marker to the rest of the teams out there. 4:17.585 for Loughborough 1's Gilbank, Knowles, Mayer and Riley. Well, we take a look back at this unit. Absolutely fabulous stuff from them. Riley leading the way, but to be fair, all three members of the trio that were left on the track took their turn up front after a remarkable start from Bo Mayer. Super stuff. Loughborough 1 has set the time here to beat.
So the lineup for Loughborough 2, we've got Mark Agent, Callum Payne, Nathan Hardy, and Barney Hall. This will take us on from Loughborough Team 2. Time to beat, backed up by Loughborough Team 1, 4:17.585.
So Loughborough 2 out on track, following their teammates who set a time of 4:17.585. 24 seconds faster than Derby University, sitting in second place. Derby University may be a little worried here. So off we go. And taking to the front straight away, Nathan Hardy.
Quickly trying to get themselves on top of the gear, settle into the seating lineup, settle into those aerodynamic handlebar extensions. They've seen their teammates set a new fastest time.
So Nathan Hardy pounding it out from Barney Hall.
Fast all the way through, so Loughborough 2 looking to emulate or better that performance.
Super transition. This looks like a nice second unit from Loughborough University.
So Loughborough 2 to stable place in the medal finals with 1 heat to go. We need to go first in 4:37.
Barney Hall leading the way now at the front for Loughborough 2. All three riders with just the single discs on the back.
1:12, 6:40. 4 seconds slower than Loughborough 1.
Hall
No panic yet. Early days.
up front. They are a few seconds off the pace set by their fellow teammates and fellow students.
That's Barney Hall.
Big stint up front for Barney Hall. Staying in position. Barney Hall will hand over to Mark Agent, sitting tucked up in second place at the moment. Agent staying tight on the wheel as well. And there goes Hall. Big stint from him. And Hall drops out. He's done his work for the team and hands over to Mark Agent. Mark Agent now powering out the front, looking to increase the speed, just taking a little bit of the bend there, going a tiny bit higher, showing the intent to accelerate as he then peels away. Agent drops onto the back and hands over to Caleb Payne. Caleb Payne pushing hard, the legs working absolutely beautifully, like a finely engineered machine. Loughborough 2 are flying here, but they are still 7.3 seconds off their teammates at the moment. Of course, there was a big gap between Loughborough's super fast time and Derby's time, what do we say, 14 seconds. So if they could stay inside 10 of Loughborough 1, they are booking their place in the finals here. Nathan Hardy now taking over duties on the front to break the air for the train, the cycling train that's coming around this Derby Arena velodrome. And they'll have 2 laps to go the next time around.
Close the gap now, a little bit, but still quite fantastic ahead.
They seem to have settled into this pace now. They know that they're going to finish behind their teammates, just dropping away a tiny bit as a last change on the final lap, or just before they get the bell, I should say. And Mark Agent up front will carry the Loughborough 2 team over the line, pushing super hard here. They're just on the edge of not quite beating the time here, and that's why the coach is out calling for the sprint of 4:27.945, and that was clear inside Derby's time of 4:31.435. So Loughborough 1, 4:17.585. Loughborough 2, 4:27.945. You look back on the race and you just got to wonder whether Loughborough 2 had the luxury of knowing the pace that had been set by their teammates. They didn't have to beat it. All they have to do is get into the top 4 for the medal races, and that is exactly what they've done. One more open team pursuit qualifying team to come out, and it is Nottingham University. So Nottingham University, the last of the 10 teams to compete in the Open Team Pursuit qualification round.
Edward Charles and Gabriel Taylor. Time to be 4:17.585.
So 4 kilometres of the track to complete here for Nottingham University. And Matthew Brown leading the way. Brown leads out Edward Charles, George Cottrell and Gabrielle Taylor, who got a gold medal in this event last year for Nottingham University.
Brown's been in a big opening lap though, opening couple of laps now.
Brown powering through.
Finally he relinquishes the lead, drops neatly onto the back of the line.
Nice little transition there as George Cottrell takes over at the front of the train.
The opening kilometre next time round. They're faster than Loughborough, half a lap away from that opening kilometre split. They still are by
And now
10 seconds.
Gabriel Taylor takes to the front, and Nottingham are 2.5 seconds inside the Loughborough time. The man who got the gold medal last year with the yellow flash on his helmet, Gabriel Taylor, leading the line for them. Nottingham are trying to put down a marker in this qualification. They're nearly 4 seconds up now. And this team are absolutely flying now. Good transitions from everyone so far.
4:14.48 was that time.
Up front, Edward Charles, the coach, is bellowing from the sidelines.
Approaching half distance.
Charles has got to be careful not to break the train. He just hands over again.
So Nottingham still on the pace here.
Matthew Brown up front again for his second stint, now 3.3 seconds ahead of the fastest time. They've dropped off a tiny bit. I think they had a little issue there. Transition again for Brown. Looks like Brown has done his stint. 2 legs up front to pull the team on, and he hands over to George Cottrell. George Cottrell tucked up neatly at the front of the Nottingham trio. We take a look at the split time, and it's now 2.258 seconds ahead of the Loughborough team. They're starting to get punished perhaps by the early pace that they set. Can they cling on? Time of 4:17.585 to beat.
It's the closing kilometre this time.
So 1K to go now.
3:12.800.
They're still inside. They're now holding pace at 2.2 seconds ahead of the time. But there's now a little bit of daylight between riders 2 and 3. Closing up the gap. Super, super hard there was George Cottrell at the back.
Back in perfect order now. 2 laps to go.
Now up front with the yellow flash, Gabriel Taylor pushing them hard. Nottingham University here trying to beat Loughborough's time. They've opened up the gap even further here. Good stint up the front by Gabe Taylor. And they get the bell. Taylor's going to carry them over the line here through the final lap. They were 2.2 seconds up on Loughborough 1. Where are they going to finish? They are still just 2 seconds up on the time as they come round the final bend. A formation finish over the line for a 4:15.901. What a time they have set here, and what a marker they've put down. A fabulous performance by Nottingham University to set the fastest time The 10th team are running. So qualifying for the finals with a 4:15.901, Nottingham University, followed by Loughborough 1, who set a 4:17.585. Loughborough 2, 4:27.945 is the third fastest time. And then Derby setting a 4:31.435 for fourth place and a spot in the finals. What a group this was. One minor breakaway towards the end, but George Cottrell pulled himself back into the group. Nottingham University setting a thrilling time here in the men's pursuit to lead the leaderboard.
Later on today, we will move back to sprinting next. We are on the quarter-final stage of the female sprint competition.
Well, as the athletes continue to stay warm, preparing for events later on, some of them just will be also just burning off the lactate with a little extra run after competing. More to come here as we will turn our attention, perfect timing, to our sprint quarterfinals in the women's competition. We'll conclude this session, the first of our 2 days of live sessions, with the points race, the women's points race coming up, and then you see what we have in store for this afternoon, starting with the women's sprint semi-finals. But up next, the sprint quarterfinals. Don't go far, we'll be right back.
Back to sprinting with the female sprint quarterfinals.
Time now for the women's sprint quarterfinals. 3 laps of the track. First 2, a kg affair, followed by a 200-meter dash to the line. First up, Rihanna Harris-Smith from Derby University, taking on a fellow student, Rhiannon Biffa.
European silver medalist for team sprint a couple of weeks ago in Belgium. Rihanna Harris-Smith, Rhiannon Biffa.
So Paris-Smith happy to sit at the back.
Track championships in Manchester last weekend.
Biffa just looking over her shoulder, waiting for the moment. Harris-Smith just showing a little here. And Biffa starts to push, but around the outside comes Biffa. Paris-Smith. Paris-Smith absolutely nailing the 200-meter sprint here. Brilliant performance from her. Absolutely tore this one apart as the Derby University student smashes heat 1. Well, superb stuff from Rihanna Paris-Smith. Silver at the team sprints at the European Championships just a couple of weeks ago. 4th in the national sprints just last weekend. And she's safely through to the semi-finals of the women's sprint.
She's only in 5-4. So heat number 2 will be next to come to track. Sarah Johnson of Harriet Watts will take on Elizabeth Broughton of Nottingham.
So we prepare for the second women's sprint quarter-final. Representing Nottingham University, closest to us, wearing number 92, Elizabeth Broughton, takes on number 52, Sarah Johnson from Heriot Watt. Clean start as Johnson just takes to the lead but keeps a very close eye on Lizzie Broughton.
Sarah Johnson, a British junior sprint on the Kieran time trial champion at the Junior National Championships last year.
The pace increasing here.
Here's the favourites among these two.
Broughton threatening high. Not putting on the afterburners just yet, forcing Johnson to stay a little high here, and now the pair push. And on the inside, this one is going to be super close here. The line, the racing line with Sarah Johnson. Sarah Johnson might well have done this here. Can she get overtaken? Oh, this is going to be close, but what a win there from Sarah Johnson of Heriot Watt University. What a run. Kept herself nice and clean throughout and took to the sprinting line inside the red markers on the track. Put her into the dominant position, and she's through to the semi-finals.
Really took off and could not find a way through. A longer run to the line, outpaced by her opponent. And Sarah Johnson and Heriot Watt is into the sprint at the semi-final draw. 2 weeks ago, the next one will feature Elodie Gage of Nottingham Trent, taking on Georgia Holt of UCLA. Heat 3 or 4 minutes to track. Gage and Holt.
So the third of the 4 quarterfinals upon us. Elodie Gage from Nottingham Trent University set the third fastest time in qualification in the flying 200. Georgia Holt from the University of Central Lancashire set the 5th fastest time. Holt wearing 1:14 with the white hat. That's how we're going to be able to identify her, because these two are very evenly matched in the wardrobe department. Georgia Holt getting out ahead of Elodie Gage in this quarterfinal of the women's sprint.
Second position, Georgia Holt.
Just leading, you're looking for everything. The position of your opponent on the track, maybe even their shadow might tell you when they're going to attack before their body does.
Also using bottom of the banking just to scribble a bit more pace, trying to draw Gage closer. Again, retaining 2-3 miles.
So we saw in the last quarterfinal, having that inside line in a closely matched contest can make the difference, because your opponent has to go around the outside of you if you're inside that red line. Holt still holding position up front. Now both go high. Where's the break gonna come? Elodie Gage looking for the moment to cut up the inside. It's not there yet, and this is going to be some finish. Georgia Holt has the advantage up the front. She has got the inside line, and Holt is going to come around and complete this one in a highly tactical battle. A bit of rinse and repeat from the second quarter-final as Holt held the inside line to take the win here in Derby.
Sporting congratulations to them, but Georgia Holt will progress in the sprint competition. One more sprint heat to go in these quarterfinals.
So far through, Rihanna Paris-Smith from Derby University, Sarah Johnson from Heriot-Watt, and Georgia Holt from the University of Central Lancashire. One more to come as Jodie Taylor of Derby University takes on Amy Dixon of Loughborough.
Amy Dixon came through that 3-up quarter-final match a little earlier. Jodie Taylor, she took on Peters Kielman to stay her place. But just one of them can progress further in this sprint now. The winner of this fourth and final heat. Just a reminder, next event on track following completion of these sprint quarterfinals will be the women's points race final. So riders for that women's point race, please begin to make yourselves ready to come out onto the track for that first distance race of these university championships. We all know the lineup here: Jodie Taylor on the inside and Amy Dixon on the outside. Derby versus Loughborough.
So we're ready, underway. Amy Dixon with the black helmet on the outside. Jodie Taylor taking to the inside of this women's sprint quarter-final. Win and through to the semi-finals. Still in with a shout of a medal. Most closely fought contest of the quarter-finals. Jodie Taylor with the 4th fastest time in the flying 200. Amy Dixon with the 5th. Dixon happy to sit on the tail of Jodie Taylor.
Dixon further up the track, narrowing her angles of attack.
So staying tight, but keeping opponent high. Advantage at the moment with Jodie Taylor. And Dixon forced all the way to the top of the track as they come around the bottom bend. And Jodie Taylor looks to break. And here we go. Now, can Taylor get down inside the red line? She does. Can she hold this position now through for a place in the semi-finals? Dixon having to go around the outside here. Doesn't look like she's got enough in the legs. And it is Jodie Taylor over the line, but only just. Jodie Taylor from Derby University through to the women's sprint semi-finals, where she'll join Georgia Holt, Sarah Johnson and Rihanna Paris-Smith.
Well, the finish line being 5 metres further down the track. I think it might have been the other way around, but Jodie Taylor takes the...
As that break, just as they cross the line on the bell, and Jodie Taylor having this inside line forced Amy Dixon to have to try and go around the outside. She worked so hard, and as we see them coming out of the final bend, I think another 2 metres, and Dixon might have done this, but Jodie Taylor, in the end, with a tuck and a dip, makes it through to the women's sprint semi-final.
Before we take a break for lunch, will be the final of the women's point race.
So the quarterfinals of the women's sprint now done and dusted. Just one more event to go in this first session of 2 On day one of live coverage here from the BUCS Cycling and Para-Cycling Track Championships. And that event is the women's points race. 10 kilometers, 40 laps with sprints every 10 laps. What a way to finish this live session. That's coming up very soon.
So riders coming out onto track side for this female points race final. Contested on 10 kilometres, that's 40 laps of the track with 4 sprints. Starting off, we've got Sana Zella.
Well, the women's points race about to get underway. This is a medal race here, the first one of this first live session. 10 kilometres this race, 40 laps of this Derby Arena velodrome. It's a field of 13, and throughout the race we will have sprints. 4 of those sprints throughout the laps, and the first 4 over the line in each of those sprints gain points, 5, 3, 2 and 1. And the final sprint on the final lap gets you double points, 10-2. Pack staying pretty tight. No one wanting to make the break too early. Lucy Nelson was leading, but just peeled away. That's a different tactics. Do you go on a run early to get points and then rest up for a hard finish, or hold off and go for a fast last 10-15 laps? Shorter distance than normal. So we may see some quite aggressive tactics in this one. Speed's just picking up a little bit. Just leading still. Lucy Nelson staying high, so she looks poised to be looking to make a break, but then she leaves the door open, or leaves the gate open as they say, and a bunch of riders have come up underneath. We'll have just 2 laps to go after this one before we start to see who might be breaking for the early sprint. Sana Zaman from Cambridge University leading the line up front at the moment, keeping her eye on the field behind.
It was good to get points on the board early in the race. So riders will will, I'm sure, pick up pace in anticipation of the opening sprint.
So still Sana Zaman leading the way.
Beginning to line the field out here. And increasing pace. Cause the rider backs to lose a little bit of ground.
Now the pack starts to spread. We now have a train going. Sana Zaman still up front. Isabel Ellis sitting in second, and now we're going to see at the bell who is coming out on the attack. Watch up on the outside.
Making a move over the top here in anticipation of that sprint lap.
And the sprint is going to get underway. And it's Millie Thompson. Isabel Ellis was in the mix there as well. They come around the final bend. The first 4 over the line, gaining points. There's 5 in the leading pack. And it is Lucy Nelson from Sarah Johnson who take the points, the first 2 points in the first sprint.
In the process, dragging a little bit of 5 riders clear of the main field. 2 riders, 3 riders losing contact.
Settle in now to the next 8 laps before sprint starts again, and the pack started just to break up a little bit.
5 for Nelson, 3 for Sarah Johnson, 2 for Millie Thompson, and 1 for Isabel Ellis. That's the point standings at the moment. 1 of the 4 sprints completed. The midfield has slowed right down, so the 2 riders are off the back here. We've got an opportunity to regain the field. That's Maisie Vejcik.
So as this settles back down again, I can tell you that Lucy Nelson of Liverpool University gained 5 points in the first sprint. Sarah Johnson from Harriet Watt taking 3. Millie Thompson from Stirling taking 2 points, and Isabel Ellis from Nottingham taking a single point in the end. Zana Salmon crossing the line in 5th, missing out on points despite leading an awful lot of that first 10 laps.
6 away from the next sprint. Vejcik and the rider who lost contact with her there. We need to be watchful next time the pace increases.
So Zana back out front. Didn't work for her in the first sprint.
Once again, it's a watchful game ahead of sprint number 2. Just a little gap opening in front here. It's not a consistent effort to attack, I think. It's just she's found herself off the front. That's Lucy Nelson.
Lucy Nelson now out front has broken away by 10 odd meters. And looks like she's kicking on a little bit. She wants to increase the pace here. Now the question is who's going to go with her, trying to break the field and gain a lap. That gives you a massive boost of 20 points. Lucy Nelson really pushing hard here. Now she's got a chasing pack following her now. In fact, the rest of the field have caught up with her. And they've all come back together. So Nelson trying to get the other riders to use up their energy. She settled into the pack, Lucy Nelson, in the blue jersey. So she'll be conserving energy now.
Rounding lost in the back. We're halfway through this 14-lap point race final.
Millie Thompson got 2 points in the first sprint. Notionally the leader. Nelson from Liverpool University right in the middle of that gaggle at the front. And looking to drop in. She's in a good position here as we get the bell. And Millie Thompson out front, pushing hard. Lucy Nelson's in the mix as well.
Move coming around the outside here from Porton.
And Porton coming around the outside could get first here. She's going to get the point. Porton takes the 5.
Nelson, I think, provisionally for 3rd across the line.
Nelson tucking up. Did she get 3rd or 4th? Porton
came through over the top there.
getting the 5 points in the second sprint.
19 laps remaining.
We wait to find out who picked up second, third and fourth. Well, it was Porton from Thompson. Nelson getting third place and 2 points.
So Lucy Nelson retains the lead, it's 2 points ahead of Mary Porton.
And Ellis, it looks like, has picked up fourth for second place.
Sarah Johnson on 3, Isabel Ellis on 2. 18 laps to go, 2 sprints remaining.
So leading the points at the moment, Lucy Nelson with 7. Tied on 5, Mary Porton, who won the second sprint, with Millie Thompson also on 5. Sarah Johnson sitting in 4th place with 3 points, and Isabel Ellis on 2.
Lucy Nelson, points leader by 2 ahead of Mary Porton. Rider in the blue at the bottom of the track. Porton is in 5th place at the moment.
Well, dropping out of the race, Molly Evans from Glasgow University has reduced the field to 11.
Maisie Beijing's once again found herself rejoining the rear of the main field. As the pace slackens, 4K to go.
Beatrix Kilsman in the yellow up front now.
So
it's getting undertaken.
Take all the points from the sprints. No one really made a concerted effort to gain the lap in front of the group. It's a tall order to gain the lap on your own at a 250-metre track.
Still neatly bunched up though, so the tactics playing their part at the moment. Lindsay Toy of Leeds riding high on the track.
Well, making a move right from the back of the line here.
Well, now a big sprint from right at the back, pulling the rest of the riders along. Has she caught anyone out here? Absolutely electric burst from the back of the field, has to be said. She's not broken the pack though, and this is going to be hard work here. Neve Campbell-Williams up front still. Has pulled the field along, but now has been overtaken. We've got a couple of laps to go before the sprint, and taking to the front and pushing on. Millie Thompson trying to drag the pack out here. A second sprint, but who's up? Coming up behind, it's Lucy Nelson, who's on 7 points, the leader on points at the moment, sitting in second from the athletes sitting in joint second. The bell goes. This is the sprint here. Millie Thompson looks like she may have got this, but is Lucy Nelson going to pick up enough points here? Has Millie Thompson got the legs here? Has she done enough or gone too early? It's going to be really close. Lucy Thompson's going to cut the line first. And it's Isabel Ellis who comes through in second place. Lucy Thompson going on to 12 points there by the looks of things.
2-point advantage over Mary Porton.
Well, how does this pan out now?
So Nelson for 5, Ellis for 3, and Lucy Nelson now 12 points. Mary Porton second with 7, 1 point ahead of Millie Thompson has 6. Isabel Ellis has 5. Sarah Johnson has 3. 8 laps to go. So that 5-point lead for Lucy Nelson. She can't afford to relax yet. Last year's silver medalist in the university's point race final. Lucy Nelson from Liverpool University. Remember the double point score on the final lap, as I mentioned earlier. It's going to be all important in this race, and no one has gained.
Well, as things settle up, they can tell you that Lucy Nelson crossed the line first in the third sprint from Isabel Ellis. Mary Porton picked up a couple of points as well in third place, and it was another point for Millie Thompson as well. So leading the points race at the moment, Lucy Nelson on 12 from Mary Porton on 7. Isabel Ellis goes clear in. Millie Thompson goes clear in 6th with 6 points. And then it's Isabel Ellis on 5, Sarah Johnson on 3. So we have a serious race on our hands for the final sprint. Double points available, 10 for the first person who crosses the line, 6 for second, 4 for third, and 2 for fourth place. These places could change positions, but at the moment it's Nelson from from Porton, from Ellis. Nelson in the blue, wearing bib number 55, poised neatly in the middle. Zanon again was up the front there.
Nelson already beyond her reach with 12 points, 10 points in the final sprint, but still secure second. Lindsay Toy can find her way through. 4 laps to go. Toy once again has a little...
Mari Porton in the red, white and blue, sitting in second place on the track, second place in the points. Lucy Nelson getting slightly tucked up. Now the track opens up for Nelson to come up the inside. Nelson's moved into a good position. Zana moves into a great position as well. Sarah Johnson also looking good, wearing 52. We're coming up with the final sprint. They've started early, Zanon leading. Mary Porton in second place, Nelson in third. Have they gone too early? Nelson coming around the outside in blue. Porton coming up the inside. The leading two are the leading two on the track. Porton in place. First place from Nelson. Porton from Nelson on the back straight. Nelson's trying to tuck up. She's got to go around the outside if she's got any chance here. Porton is going to come across the line from Nelson. What a finish there. Over the line. Amazing stuff for the finish of the points race. Porton taking 10.
Will give her 18 points.
First and second place are so tight, but first from Porton with a sprint for 10 gives us 17 points. But Lucy Nelson finishing in second gains 6 points, which pips Porton on the post with 18 points. That is provisional, of course.
And Mary Porton battling out for that final sprint. Porton got the maximum points with Nelson securing second.
We wait for confirmation.
And Millie Thompson got the 2. So wait for confirmation of them.
So 10 for Porton, 6 for Nelson. As we look at the end of the race, the two athletes leading the points up front. Porton leading from Nelson in second place. She not only needed to take it, but needed Nelson to drop away.
Second place for Nelson was enough for her to hold on that 5 points advantage she took into that final sprint, all important. So Lucy,
and in the end, 4 points for Isabel Ellis gave her third place with 9 points. So Lucy Nelson with 18 takes the gold. Mari Porton with 17 takes silver. And Isabel Ellis with 9 points takes the bronze medal in the female points race here at the BUCS Cycling Championships. Well, that's the last of the action here in the first session, but we'll be back for more live coverage at 2:45. Thanks for joining so far. We'll see you later.